Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is G. Cole, and welcome to Homegrown, where I get to share with you some good music while talking to some great people. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do, so we can keep you updated when new material is available. We will be posting new episodes bi-weekly. Also, check out the website Homegrown with G. Cole to listen and for all things homegrown. We're also very, very interactive. Please follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook at MyGCole.
Again, our guest today, hear me say all the time, we are doing a series called The Other Side of the Microphone. We talk to what I deem the marketing, the promotion aspect of it. I feel like the curators create the music, and then it's got to get out there some way. So we got to consult the professionals, i.e. you, to get it out there to that part of the world. And of course, we've got DJ GQ with us today. Open up your microphone on the whole nine. He does radio, the biggest artist in the world, on the highest level.
Lord.
Don't let the baby face fool you. He's got tenure in this game. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
Sir,
with that kind of introduction, I'm telling you.
Welcome to the party, brother. Welcome. Everything good?
Yeah, man. You know, just there, just trying to think,
Cool,
working with you, looking at you, the man.
I haven't been a man since my daughter was born.
Oh, no.
But we're getting it going. I always, again, we're talking about the other side of the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Every day, I talk to a lot of artists. I'm talking from the legends to the upcomers. We talk to everybody. But, sometimes there's a little bit of a disconnect.
Yeah.
Some things people think they know
when
they don't. Right. Some things they think they understand when they really don't. But it's all about knowledge. It's all about them things. So we always look in the rearview mirror. At least I always do it. Because I feel like it helps me to understand who you are.
Of course.
Why you do what you do.
Yeah.
And so forth. We talk about the rearview mirror. Give me a little insight of young GQ, before even GQ, growing up in Jamaica. What was that vibe like for you?
Well, I mean, I started off as a promoter in Jamaica still. At like 14, I was Jamaica's youngest promoter. Mm-hmm. And then I moved back to Miami at 17 because I was actually born in Miami. And I moved to Jamaica when I was 5. And then, I started with the sound system thing. And like I was telling you earlier, I used to mess with Travelers, and I did some Travelers double dates up here and that type of stuff. And then it was probably like about 98, 99, a brethren of mine called me and said, yo, if you could get to Atlanta in 4 hours, you can do Puffy's album release party.
What?
And I was like, yo, all right, I'm there.
Right,
and, I got there, and the hustle was real. I met 112, went on the road with 112, met Andre Rison, did his retirement tour, met Akon. I was Akon's first DJ. Wow. Then I toured with Kevin Little. I became Kevin Little's DJ.
Wow.
And then I for like 2 years, I was DJing for DMX. And then in like 2009, I got on, a program director came to me and said, yeah, would you like to get on Y100? Mm-hmm. And I decided to make that transition from hip hop to pop. And I'd started with iHeart, and I've been on Y100 for 10 years.
Wow. The story in Anomaly got that.
Yeah, that's a condensed story.
That's a condensed version.
Yeah, in between is wild, you know what I mean?
I love it. It's amazing because for the most part, when I sit down and talk to, I put a lot of focus and effort in the reggae dancehall part of it, right? As a consumer, I consume it all. Yeah. But as far as pushing it and exploring, the marketplace for the artists, it's normally for the reggae dancehall acts because I just feel like the other genres have a lot of support.
Yeah, man.
We don't.
Yeah.
But the issue that people get into a lot is you want to get that mainstream. You want to get into mainstream, but they don't know how to get into mainstream.
Yeah, but you know what? It's that work, man. Because there's certain artists that try, or at least I feel they succeed keeping their name kind of live in mainstream. Like even like a Mr. Vegas. We were talking about that the other day too. Them people that they just work, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And then then again too, it's who you know an opportunity. Because I remember when Blackout produced "This Is Why I'm Hot," and Dizzy came to me and said, "Yo, I'm messing with Junior Reid," and I brought Junior Reid situation in to do "This Is Why I'm Hot" remix.
That's Mims.
Yeah, Mims.
Right.
And then Pull Up. I remember when Vegas was going back and forth with his drama in Jamaica with Bone to Killer and the whole write off like my Honda Prelude, and then Bone to Killer say, yo, Mr. Vegas, and all of that drama was going on, and he came back up here, and then that's when Pull Up was born. You know what I mean? And we sat down and in an in-house team worked that to radio, commercial radio. Wow. But the thing is, these guys are diligent when it comes to work, and then you have the real dancehall right now. They're so core market. They're not really trying to see up here, and then when they get to a certain level and they realize, yo, you know, we need to focus on the foreign money, they come in and they try to do hip hop. They don't realize that true reggae style is what the foreign scene wants.
Wow. And I'm wowed when you mention that, because it's a conversation we have every too often, right? When I say, and I hate to draw names, but I'm going to talk about, for example, when Sizzla, one of my favorite artists.
Yeah.
I remember when Sizzla, one of the dopest, one of the most influential in reggae to me over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Sizzla was doing his thing, and up until the real thing, and then, you know, you're loving it, and then you hear him sign with Dame Dash.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, so Dame saw him for what he does and
Great
brought
example.
him in.
Great example. We're going.
But then him start trying to go hip hop.
That's what they do. That's just like when Beanie Man did Girl Them Sugar with Maya, or when Killer with No. It's like everybody always tries to do these big hip hop records, but realistically, Sean Paul, True to Style, Temperature,
right,
and then look where that went.
Yeah,
you know, or a Shaggy, you know, when he does his True to Style records and where those go.
You know, amazingly, you mentioned that. People knock you, and you know how it goes when it comes to dancehall and hip hop and even basketball, stuff like those.
Yeah,
they deem it the hood sport. So in other words, and what I mean pretty much is they give credence and credibility to the person who has the struggle coming from the hood and all that.
Right.
If you come from uptown, or if you come from a privileged background,
right,
which is why I think some people didn't really give Kobe the ratings he's supposed to get, because he didn't come from the struggle.
That deep still.
That, you know, but it's the real. And I think it's the same thing. But truthfully, Sean Paul is one of the few dancehall acts that I've never seen straight from dancehall.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, the rhythm, you can go up on a hip hop rhythm all you want.
Yeah, no, of course.
But
and he does
struck.
combos and blah blah blah. But still, you're right. He stayed real true to style. You know, but I mean, I definitely, I'm sure his management had something to do with it. You know, up to his you know, his last form of management and stuff. And and you know, the thing is, you know, it's a dude, when you talk to him, you know, he's a real rootsy youth. You know what I mean? I mean, I grew up with all them youth, and is a dude that really just, like, he loves and endorses reggae music.
Wow. So the major ingredient here is the hard, diligent, consistent work.
Of course.
I think the key word is consistent.
And that's hard to find from anybody, man.
Yeah.
You know what happened? 50 Cent said something a couple weeks ago. It was basically how a lot of these artists that are coming out right now are going to be one-hit wonders. And when they asked him why he said that, he said because the fame came so fast that they don't have that
there's no struggle story.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why it's going to come now, and you know, there's no diligence to come with that next record.
Wow. I dig that. And I think Massive and Crew out there listening right about now, I firmly endorse that, because, you know, I was talking to another legend way back, and they're like, if there's really no story, there's nothing to sell.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
It's fast food. You can create something, you can fabricate something, and it comes at the times.
Yeah.
But if you really want something stellar, some longevity, something for last, there's got to be a story, because what you're going to talk about.
Definitely.
I dig it. Ladies and gentlemen, we chopping it up with GQ. We're talking about promotion, we're talking about the business, the industry, the whole nine. Where did the love, not just how did this love of music? Because with everything it takes to make this happen, it's got to be love. Yeah. You can't even go through a relationship with a woman if you don't love her, let alone something as grueling as music. Where did this love of music come from for you? You know what happened? You know, I always had it. You know, when I was a liquor youth?
From a liquor youth. Because I remember when I just didn't know how I wanted to get involved. So when I was 14, and I was like, you know what, I want to promote dance.
Right.
And I remember my first dance was with Silverhawk, and when I was 14. And
I've heard that name in a while.
I actually did a clash, Silverhawk, Super D, Super T, when I was 15, and it was at JTRDC in Mona. I'll never forget it.
Wow.
And that's when the whole my dances, they came up with one and what a controversy and all of them kind of named it.
Yeah.
And it's like I just knew I just had to do something with music, you know. And then I didn't even have the nickname yet.
Right.
And then it's when I came up here, and I came back up here to go to college, and I realized, you know what, I don't want to do architecture, I don't want to do business, you know. Then I went to graphic design. I was like, what am I doing? And then I ended up going to Miami-Dade. I was the first generation of their audio engineering program, and I was just like, you know what, I worked a job. I went because just when I got up here, I had to get work, obviously, to pay bills.
Right.
And I went to Tony Roma's, and I worked there for 2.5 hours. And I looked up at the sky and I said, you know what?
2.5 what?
Listen, my first W-2 said $10.50. I worked for 2.5 hours, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna be a DJ.
Yeah.
And from that day to now, I've been a DJ.
2.5 hours. I never heard that before.
I gave you the full story.
I thought you were gonna say I was there for 2.5 years.
Nah, fam.
2.5 hours.
Yeah, man.
Passion, love. I'm digging it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what me tell you, the thing goes deep. Sunshine, blessings, Racine. There's a whole bunch of people right now. I'm going to get a joint right now. We'll talk about Sizzler. Well, yeah.
Let them know.
Trust me, one of my faves right now, all right? Kalanji.
Kadamawi. Instalasia. Ha, you're nascaling. Yo, Baku City and Chalva. Addis Ababa. Yo, I'm a Gideon. I was born in a system that doesn't give a fuck about you, nor me, nor the life. I forget, keep my guns loud, you never know, just in case things get freak. That's just the way I live, yeah, that's me, yeah, as is. Don't go misbehaving, don't take it slight. Behave yourself when you're making it right.
It's called I Was Born. Sizzler's Rise to the Occasion album. Way back. Classic. You're good. Empress Unique, what's up?
Coming out their mouth. Whoa, now you get me mad. I shove it down your throat. You know, I bet Babylon we ain't got nothing in common. I'm the son of Solomon. Telling me lies.
Kalanje, GQ. Let me ask you this, because you're known as if we do the research, you're known as one of those eclectic DJs. You're going from pop, rock, hip hop.
Yeah.
If they want country, you probably have it too.
Yeah.
But you're a kid from Jamaica.
Yeah, man.
Where did this eclectic blend, this style, this open ear for all genres rather than just your home genre, where'd that come from?
I don't know. No, yo, like real. You can't cuss on this show, right? I'll keep it PG. But yo, I have no idea. Like, I mean, I got booked for this thing one time. I used to DJ heavyweight boxing matches at Madison Square Garden.
Wow.
And when they booked me, you know, it's like I have a feeling they didn't even really know what to expect, you know, and I kind of just, you know, was peeping game, and as the boxes came out, I kind of did my homework to like see what they wanted or whatever. And Shannon Briggs was on boxing one time, and this is when Look Into My Eyes just came out. And I played that.
Killer?
Yeah, and he stood up on the ropes, and he's like, Jamaican, and I was like, whoa, like it was like some wild thing. And you know what? I always try to integrate back the reggae into it, but I mean, you know, at different stages of my life, like when I got with Akon and then hip hop became a big part of my life, or when I got on Y and pop became a big part of my life, I always just tried to engulf myself in you know, figuring out what moves people in that genre. Right. As a matter of fact, and how rock came into it. I was actually one of the resident DJs at Voodoo Lounge downtown Fort Lauderdale back in the day. Man. Vintage. Yeah, exactly. Vintage. And then when they partnered with Dennis Rodman and they made Rodman's Rehab outside, they said they want the format to be 50% rock, 50% hip hop. And Rodman basically said the only way any DJ can play is they gotta understand rock and play rock 50%. So I started going to rock bars, and then like it's different having rock and playing rock versus seeing people scream like, you know, I love rock and roll, and you see that response.
The mosh pit kind of vibe.
Exactly. And then I basically took the best of that and then integrated that into my set. So I know when I play something, I'm going to get response out of it. You know, versus then, you know, you have a lot of DJs these days just have music on a hard drive. And just playing. Can't play like that.
Yeah, you're not playing for the crew. You just have to play some music.
Yeah, you just
got 4 hours to do this gig, and I'm playing some stuff.
Exactly. Now it gotta be. Every time you DJ, you gotta DJ like your life depends on it, or it's the last time you're ever gonna play.
Wow. So that gig is gonna determine the next gig.
Yep.
Or the lack of the next gig.
Exactly.
I love it. The thing is serious, ladies and gentlemen. And again, it's always important for me to talk to people who are in the trenches.
Yeah, man.
It's amazing with this culture and with anything else. When people see you doing what you do, they see you on Y100, in all the events, spotlights, but they don't see the grind. They don't see the come up. They don't see the struggle.
Yeah, man.
I dig it. Juanito, it's a big up, Mitch, big up. Thank you all so much. We're having a blast right about now. And again, I'm getting as educated as you are. So just roll. All right. Now, from the research I did also, you know, you apply your trade on mainstream radio. Y100 here in South Florida. You do guest mixes and the beat in Santa Maria. That's what, California?
The what? Oh,
You play on in California sometimes?
I'm on 95.7 The Beat in California.
Cool, man. You know, you got too much stuff going on when you got to think about it.
Yeah.
Alabama.
Yeah. Where you know all this?
I understand.
You did your homework.
I did the research.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Hot 103.5 in Alabama.
Wow. Most, I keep saying it over and over and over. When we think the culture, right?
Yeah.
We're thinking some form of reggae dancehall radio format.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When you went, because we speak a lot about you playing in the clubs and you playing at the venues and at the boxing arena, you can feel the energy, so you can do that research on the fly.
Right.
All right? When it comes to now going over into radio, what was that animal like going over into radio when it's not a reggae dancehall format to the radio?
All right. Well, it was rough because the thing is, program directors in commercial radio in the U.S., they don't want you to play the new stuff, or they don't want you to play dance. I was actually one of the first DJs to ever play Hold You on commercial radio, and I vetted for that radio.
You mean the Egyptian Hold You?
Egyptian Hold You, and I vetted for that record hard. That's why, again, too, you know, the newer relationship I have with VP was because of that. And when I was going through that, my PD was like, yo, like, PD means program director for the people who don't know, but looked at it and said, yo, what is that? Like, no, don't play that. Wow. Like, I mean, so I literally had to, and then as it was climbing, show, and, you know, before it was like integrated and actually got plays. But, you know, I always try to put in reggae, you know, or island music when I can, you know, but it's rough.
I can imagine. Do you get to play whatever you want, or is it mostly dictated by the program director?
Half and half, you know, because, I mean, within reason, like if you come to me with a record and it has no coverage, you know, whatsoever on commercial radio, you're gonna be sticky. You know? I can't sit down and be the first man. You know, it's rough. Unless I have a vision. You know, and you know that, you know, there's gonna be backative or future in this record. You know, because, I mean, let's keep it real. When you have a record, there are like 20 pieces to the pie. You know what I mean? You have to have a team. You have to have imaging, just like you said. You have to have a story. When we were talking about that before. You know, the record obviously has to be good. You know, but there's so much involved. Money is a part of it.
It's not just, hey, I got a hot record.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Back in the day, in the 90s or 2000, you know, you could have a good sound or a gimmick record or something and blow up off of it. But those days are done.
Wow. The investment has got to be there.
Yeah,
I want to say investment because that's another thing. I have conversations with artists, right? And it amazes me how many artists think that, yo, I have a good song.
Yeah.
Somebody said to me one time, yo, G, I want to release some records and just put them out there. So I was like, so how you plan on putting it out there? Like, just put it out there. You know what I mean? It's a good song. How do you get it out there? So there's so many avenues to this that a lot of people don't realize. But when it comes to, again, radio, I've seen the biggest artists, the Boyz II Men's, the Michael Jacksons, run promo ads and all them things.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? So that's where the marketing budget goes into and creating awareness, whether it's visual awareness, the videos, the whole nine.
Definitely.
So that's what it takes for a mainstream radio station to pay attention.
Yeah, in commercial radio, you have something called tune out, where if two songs back to back that are relatively unknown are played, the person changes the station. So that's why even when you hear something that's an underdog radio, an underdog record, they actually have to play a hit song before it and a hit song after it, you know, to sandwich it so that they don't get the tune out. But the thing is, you have people like look at for instance Jay-Z. When people don't realize how much money and effort go into these things, you know.
Right.
When what was the name of the song? Otis. Jay-Z Otis, Kanye Jay-Z.
Yeah.
When that song came out, this generation couldn't identify with it. Not like you and I who know who Otis Redding is.
Right.
So they had to turn around and spend $250,000 at radio to bust that record, you know.
Wow.
Because the thing is, if Jay-Z had a flop record, his stock would go down. He couldn't charge $500,000 a show anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they have to weigh all of that out too. So if he puts out a record and he's like, oh man, this is struggling, he'll spend whatever it takes to pop it at Billboard.
Right.
You know what I mean? To make sure he keeps his stock value up.
Wow. You know, it's amazing you mentioned the budget to break records because people think it's a joke, you know, because I remember reading an article, that song Rihanna, Man Down, when they were saying what it costed to get that song to be where it's at. And it was about $300,000 to get it there.
I believe it.
So that's amazing, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I love the fact and I appreciate the fact that it can educate so much people because they see radio is an entity and radio is a physical thing. So them see this physical radio, and that's the only part they pay attention to a lot of time. Not the concept and the institution of what radio is.
Definitely.
From the standpoint of let's get out of the club right now and stay in radio for a minute. How's a hit made?
You know, G. Cole, I don't know.
Still a mystery.
You know what? My homeboy AD is a record promoter. Big up AD if you're watching. But AD promoted Rick Ross, Trina Records. He's the one who pushed Single Again by Trina back in the day, whatever. He came to me with this record. And I don't even want to tell you the name of the record. That's how crazy it is. Because when he came to me with it, I said, this isn't a hit.
Right.
It was an urban record, and I'm playing pop.
Right.
And I was like, AD, I can't play this record. And he's like, yo, please GQ, this is going to be the next biggest thing. And I gave him the spin to show that this thing's crossing and whatever. It was Bust It Wide Open. Little Key. Let me tell you something. That record was massive, and I thought the record was garbage.
Right.
So it's so hard these days, man. You can't determine. Like you and me can't sit down and determine what's a hit.
Right.
We can basically sit down and do a probability. You know what I mean? And say, okay, well, because of the speed of the record, if it's like 100 BPM and it can mix, or 80 or 130 for a fast one, or we can turn around and say, okay, because of speaking points, it's about love or sex or money. Okay, this is relatable music. Or okay, well, you have 100 grand behind this, so obviously budget's behind it. Or your team is G Unit. Okay, well, you have a good team behind it. We could turn around and sit down and play, the probability game.
Right.
You know what I mean? But just straight up, would you think that Little Nas X was going to be a big thing 2 years ago?
No, I wouldn't think it last week.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
so, there you go.
Yeah, because that's the word that comes up a lot. Hit. How does one create a hit?
Yeah.
I know it's not just the song. You know what I mean? You've got to have a lot of other things going on.
It's having as much of that pie I was telling you about at once. That's
at
what
one time.
Yeah. So basically, like back in the day, like early 2000s, I was in Vibe, I was in Source, I was in all these things. I did Rap City like a bunch of times. But the thing is, I didn't do everything at the same time. And then I saw Khaled, came up and he's like, yo, I'm dropping an album. I'm like, yo, then all of a sudden, everywhere like White on Rice, he was on Vibe, Source, XXL, all at the same time. Then Fat Joe saying, Khaled, I see you. And, whatever. Then boom, he drops Holla at Me, Baby. And it just happened all at the same time. Had to break.
So it has to be simultaneous movement.
Yeah, man. And then his team was strong. Baby from Cash Money backing him.
Yeah.
His money was right. Everything was just, the pie. He had the whole pie.
Wow.
So
now it's amazing again you said that, because we talk to people. I sit down here oftentimes can't predict a hit.
Yeah.
We do the research and I can tell you might be missing this, that, not from the music standpoint, but just what you're doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because like I said, you're absolutely right. A lot of times people come in thinking, let me do this one thing or these two things. But the part of it, especially us, I think culturally we stray away from is the fact that budget better be real. Because it's not about, when you talk about budget and promotions, when it comes to reggae and dancehall artists, they think payola, which is not what I'm talking about.
No.
It's just everybody that's doing something, every work, every cog that's spinning and connecting costs.
Exactly. Advertising. It could be just an advertisement in a magazine. It could be, definitely.
Awareness ain't cheap, I'm telling you. All right? You're not cheap, all right? I'm going to give you something else, ladies and gentlemen, just to make sure that you're rocking with us. You know what I mean? For the people who know the culture, the roots and them thing, yeah?
Brap.
Easy. What's up, Mish? Wagwan Herlon, Linford, Sligo, Charmaine, blessings, Sheikah, hey. Rossini. Juanita said 2.5 hours sound like a song title.
We know no more than in a town. Mr. Happy got so lucky, she got happy out. We no want no more dead body. Well, Mr. Joe kill quick. We no want no more hit. We no want no more grave. We no want no more casket. Well, life we promote, which is righteousness. So don't get a lick. We no look and know. Jaja City, Jaja Town. Them want to turn it in a cold white town. We no look and know. Bloody city, bloody town.
They're tuning in, they're paying attention. Because they're not accustomed.
Them a tell me how them call. Big 45 we shoot out them brother mole. No fuss said them cold like up at the North Pole. So them shoot down the hung, shoot down the hole, shoot down the puss and all the dog and the fall. Every weekend when them take on next payroll.
It's Capleton, ladies and gentlemen.
Pocket them shoot out.
More Fire album.
This Marcus.
Jaja City.
Head off he go roll.
Be a touch on them thing I come on, you know.
Jaja City, Jaja Town, them have it on it in a cowboy town. Aye, look at you. Jaja City,
Wagwan Hope, one big up Jarena. Caden, Matthew.
Aye, them things them reach the ultimate. Yo, but them no reach nowhere yet. Aye, them get caught in the internet. Of society, I tell me.
GQ, let me ask you something, because a lot of times, again, still, well, not radio this time, but dancehall, the clubs, the festivals, the arenas, right? I think there's so much of a struggle going on right now here, especially in South Florida.
Yeah, man.
I've always said, we have all these talent here, these Grammys and whatever on the walls and the mantelpiece, but we can't bust artists for nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you play out, because you're playing out the Caribbean, you play Europe sometimes, you play wherever across the country. What's the difference when it comes to the appreciation for the music by the masses in your eyes versus home?
All right. You see, the thing is, when you go to regions like Japan and stuff, the appreciation is like tenfold. I mean, they live the music, but they live music, period. It's not about reggae music or popular music. It's just
music.
They just love music, man. They'll rave to something they've never heard before. You know what I mean? Yet here we're a little bit more judgmental with it. We're like, yeah, well, we never hear that song yet, and kind of kick back and wait.
Yeah.
But it's funny that you said something about the Grammys a while ago, and the thing is with the Grammys, I know in reggae and dancehall right now, there are people that are a little bit salty about it, and they're like, yo, the same kind of names always winning and blah, blah, blah. Or if there's a Marley on it, the Marley them win and whatever. But you have to remember, it's only about 13,000 people that vote for the Grammys.
Right.
So the thing is, like, say, for instance, Beyonce is a voting member on the Grammys. And then she now sees Conscience, Capleton, somebody else, whatever, and then Damian Marley, right? Mind you, she has 200 boxes to fill out,
right?
And she gets to the reggae category, which is only one category,
right?
It's just an album. There's not even a single, or
right?
Whatever, a reggae dancehall. No, just one category. And then she's, if you're Beyonce, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna take Damian
Marley.
Yep.
So it's like
familiarity.
So the thing is, the year that I saw Morgan Heritage win, I was talking to a couple of those guys, and they're like, listen, man, we went around. We went to Grammy parties in New York, LA. We shook hands, kissed babies. That's a part of the business, man.
Campaigning.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, I have a couple of artist friends now, and, when they wanted to do a meet and greet with reggae artists, they jumped up and they're like, yo, we're there. We're ready. And that shows you, that what you have to do to be that name, You know what I mean? Because it's only 13,000 people voting.
Wow. Amazingly enough, somebody sent me some the list, and it was about 150 something songs.
Right.
I mean albums that they got submitted, and it's the same thing. It's kind of like, okay, I got 150. I know I'm not listening to all that.
Exactly.
So it's politics nonetheless, not in a negative light. No. But you have to campaign.
Yeah, you got to. And then what kills me is then all of a sudden now, say a Damian win, and it's like, Lord, look at that, a Marley win. Politics. Right. It's not politics, you know what I mean? them people that put in them legacy work already, you know what I mean? So
it's about that work.
You gotta come in and make that name for yourself.
It's about that work, and again, there are things we can do to get the familiarity to. It might not be, again, unless I could change the last name. You ain't gonna be a Marley, but at the end of the day, if there's somebody in the category with one of the Marley brothers, and they are equally popular, and when I say equally, I mean popular. If you have a year where there's, let's say, Sean Paul, Shaggy.
Yeah,
one of the Marley brothers in there.
Stiff category.
You know what I mean? There's no guarantee.
On a commercial level,
there's no guarantee that he's taking that one home.
Yeah.
But it just, fortunately or unfortunately, it doesn't ever work out that way. It's not one of them races where you have you seeing a run against this someone and it's stiff. You know what I mean? It ain't the NBA finals. I'm telling you.
Right.
But I love when you can shed some light on that, because, a lot of times we need to understand what it is. We have, like I mentioned earlier, Grammys on the mantelpieces. There's plaques on walls. Every now and then you'll see a reggae artist break from California.
Yeah.
And when I say reggae, I mean one of us. They have a market that they've secured and you can't knock that.
Yeah.
Every now and then we may get something from Canada. Every now and then from New York. But South Florida we ain't get nothing. And I've spoken to people at home, and I wonder if us being this close to Jamaica is a detriment or it's an advantage.
Yeah. You know what? Miami, South Florida is like a hub. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's funny you say that, because I don't really identify with South Florida as a local people. You know what I mean? So like, for instance, you know, like I just the other day when somebody was bringing up, I was talking about Y100's, like, yeah man, yo, Y100's live down the street, you know, or when somebody was talking about like say Vegas or Red Rat or, you know, just whatever, island music, Kevin Little, you know what I mean? It's just, it's such a mosh pit of island people that are already here that I don't really think we have like a thing, you know, not like Cali where specifically people live in Cali, you know what I mean? You know, I don't look at it. Miami is a different thing. You know, I've been here. I mean, I go to Jamaica maybe 2-3 times a year. You know what I mean? But you know, everybody just knows that, you know, GQ's a Jamaican you, but they're in Miami. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
Yeah.
So that's part of the struggle. Like you said, Cali has a base. For literally, if you're a Cali artist, you're a Cali artist.
You're a Cali artist.
You're not really a South Florida artist.
No.
And I get the impression also that even if they are residing here for authenticity purposes, when the project goes out, they're branding it Jamaica, like, yo, Jamaica, I'm living it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For that authenticity.
Which, incidentally, there's no such thing as an artist from a city in the US that just breaks and goes commercial. Like you literally have to be coming out of Jamaica. I don't know if anybody's realized that. But even when like look at even like I think who was it? Who was Ricky Rudy? Ding Dong.
No, Bling Dog.
Bling Dog. You know, Bling Dog went back to Jamaica to bus. He was Ricky Rudy up here forever.
Right. And he wasn't popping.
And he wasn't popping.
Yeah.
You know, but the thing is, when you come from Jamaica, you know, it's like that's the way you pop. You know what I mean? So you know, there's certain artists. I was giving somebody advice the other day, and they didn't take it well, and they didn't want to. They stopped talking to me. But if you're listening, you probably know who you are. But you know, again too, it's the same thing. It's just they've been up here so long that you get that American swag. You know, and it doesn't play well for that core audience. You know, the core audience wants that real Jamaican thing.
Right. That's the real consumer, because I think that's another thing that creates a little bit of an issue for us. I think people misconstrue who the consumer is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When it comes to Jamaica, I always say our reggae music dance hall, the fan base that we work so hard to appease doesn't consume the music. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you check it out, the people who are buying the music, you don't see them on a daily.
No.
And the people who you're making the music for, the people you see on a daily basis. Yo, does this person like it? Does this market like it? When them people not have no iTunes, them not logging for your thing. Yeah. And if you try to go over there and create something more appealing to that market, then you hear say, well, you must sell out the thing, you know. Nah, you understand what I'm saying? So we have a struggle that I don't know, but you mentioned even Bling Dog, there's Etana, there's Taurus, there's a bunch of people had to venture back home.
Got to venture back home. I just use that as one.
Trust me, according to Dean Fraser, them 1 year when you drop your foot into the water and all them things there. You never know. Blessings, Marsha J. Ball. I'm a UK people right about now. We got another joint for you. This one is off the brand new album, Business Signal. Steer so.
Streets anywhere we go. Dogs them serious. Dog them no nervous. Boy, let me tell you about. Man, we cool.
Well, light and I got no woman, see it, yeah? We got it.
No boy can't go round we.
Double light on
this one. I know so the things hit me G. One phone call it take to make some boy wipe up her hurt and drop down flat. From you not stop my food, dog. Me no matter about you and me no care about that. Can't talk in my face. Say them run place, I run them run round that. Man a action pack, some boy only full of tough chatter. Enough of them stairs up. Enough of them stairs up.
Mitch, what's up? Andres
enough of them stairs up.
From Massachusetts.
Talk them a talk, no action fi back. Enough of them stairs up.
The GQ fans are out in full effect.
Enough of them stairs up. Chat them a chat, me no pay that, no mind hear that. Empty barrel a make nice dog, them a no nobody, them a no nobody. Yeah. Can't step to the president, all of me dogs, them a be a mad smaddy. Yeah. Have a one piece of metal and a post dog, you no bad man from nowhere. You must see the whole of your life, cause it not work if you step to me. Enough of them stairs up.
Yeah man, we gotta pull it from the top, them center true. Business Signal. Album is called Parts of the Puzzle.
Anywhere we go.
Steer so. Hey Julian.
Serious.
Hope, fire, Mitch.
Boy, let me tell you about. Man, we cool like a Eskimo. No boy can't go round we. Hey, I know so the things hit me G. One phone call it take to make some boy wipe up her hurt and drop down flat.
One bigger brass odds.
I'm not stop my food dog, me no matter about you.
DJ Lance.
Can't talk in my face. Say them run place, I run them run.
So true, EK.
Man a action pack, some boy only full of tough chatter. Enough of them stairs up.
What lighter?
Enough of them stairs up.
Right
Enough
here.
of them stairs up. Talk them a talk, no action fi back. Enough of them stairs up. Enough of them stairs up. Enough of them stairs up. Chat them a chat, me no pay that, no mind hear that. Empty barrel a make nice dog, them a no nobody, them a no nobody. Yeah. Can't step to the president, all of me dogs, them a be a mad smaddy. Yeah. Have a one piece of metal and a post dog, you no bad man from nowhere. You must see the whole of your life, cause it not work if you step to me. Enough of them stairs up, enough of them stairs up, enough of them stairs up. Talk them a talk, no action fi
What going on, Mar Shepherd?
stairs up.
There goes the water.
Them stairs up. Enough of them stairs up.
Frida, blessings.
Chat me no pay that, no mind hear that. One phone call it take fi make some boy wipe off her hurt and drop down flat. From you not stop my food dog, me no matter about you and me no care about that. Can't talk in my face. Say them run place, I run them run.
Blessings, Paul. Welcome to the party. We appreciate you very, very much.
Enough of them stairs.
Palm Beach is in the building. We appreciate you too.
Them stairs up.
Margate, Miramar, Hollywood, Plantation.
Talk them a talk, no action.
Miami gets a shout out just for being here.
So,
Them say Miami weird for real.
enough of them stairs up. Chat them a chat, me no pay that, no mind hear that.
I don't. We spoke a little bit earlier about the fact that you can't really tell. You know, we always try to assume, and sometimes people say, "Yeah, man, I know that record was gonna pop." I didn't know nothing. You know what I mean? So, but when you heard Kevin Little's hit song, can't remember the name.
Turn Me On.
Turn Me On. 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of Sean Paul's plethora of hits. For the first time, Mr. Vegas has had him, Elephant Man has had him,
Yeah.
Beanie, and I'm talking about the commercial stuff right now because
Yeah.
when we say hits, you know, I think sometimes also there's a little bit of a blurred line. There's diaspora hits, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, that pop off, you know, the dance and that sound system and this and
Right,
that.
right.
But then there's the radio stuff. The Marley Brothers,
Right.
they have some success there too.
The niche market stuff versus the commercial
Versus the
success.
commercial stuff.
Yeah.
When you heard them commercial songs that popped off, the first time you heard them, you had an inclination, or most of it is the work of radio?
No, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. It depends on which song you're talking about. Because first of all, like Turn Me On, it was just something about it. Like there's hands
day one.
down, no one could contest
Right.
that wasn't a hit.
Right.
Like it's so crazy. Like I still remember getting off the plane for the first time in Germany, and girls were screaming Kevin like it was like Michael Jackson coming off the plane.
Wow.
And I'm like, what the hell is going on right now? And yo, Kevin.
Right.
And I was like, yo, like, is this for real? Then when we got to Romania, we were, it was the first year or second year of MTV Romania, and Black Eyed Peas opened for us.
Open for Kevin Little.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, like, so you're talking about like this hands down was like a top 10 song in the world, but just at the time, melody and you know the speed of the record, everything just made sense.
Right,
You know what I mean? And it's just like, you know, there's certain hits and they just make sense, and then there are other hits that just you could tell were just pushed to the top.
Right.
You know, but like Lil Nas X right now, that
The country joint.
country joint, like
Okay.
I mean, the market just needed it. You know
Something
what I mean?
different.
It's just something, yeah, it's something different, something sing along that you just know the words. You know, that's something, you know, gimmicky. You know, do you think he's gonna last? Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? But you know, in
Big enough of a hit that if it doesn't last,
yeah.
it's still good.
But I'm not gonna lie to you though. There's certain records that in the past that I swore were gonna be hits, like crossovers, reggae wise, that didn't cross. But the thing is, there was no strategy, no plan. That artist probably has no foreign team.
Yeah.
You know, so.
It's and the word you use there that I think is missing from a lot of this is team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the whole concept of team, not your cousin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not the homie from down the way.
No.
I'm not saying they can't bring people along, but they got to get educated on what they're doing.
Definitely.
Wow.
Definitely. But you see, that's why when you look like at now like a Shaggy or a Sean Paul, these guys, man, their teams are crazy.
Wow.
Like I mean, they got dudes in labels that vet for them and don't even really know them. You know what I mean? Because their strength in the business is so clutch.
Wow. Ladies, only hear that, all right? And they hear that. club, radio, right? Which is because you push music, you can get a hit. So if I have a budget is not sexy enough to go radio and club.
Yeah.
Which aspect of it is easier for me to take my budget to forget the record to break? Is it in the club or on the radio?
It depends on your record. If you have a record like Bad Man Forward, you know what I mean, obviously the club's the way you need to go.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I mean, like, let's keep it real now. Ding Dong is never that's never gonna be an American hit.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
True.
you know, between Dub Plate Money and Stage Show, this man is probably gonna be set for the rest of his life off that record.
True
right?
that.
Versus you know, Heads High, you know, or you know, it's like you know, you gotta there's no formula for one record.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
You that's why. And another thing too is people haven't been using A&Rs anymore. The A&R was supposed to basically groom the artist and the record, and you know, you sometimes you have to take yourself as an artist out of the equation.
Right.
And you have to make sure that you have ears in the business that can cultivate you to get you that right, you know, hit. To choose the hit, to help you break the hit. You know what I mean? Because sometimes, you know, as an artist, you know, and me too, you know, as now as a producer, DJ, you know, I'm listening to my stuff and, you know, I made it, so I love it, you know, and it's like, yo, like, G. Cole, the next biggest thing this, you know, because I feel so I made it, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then you might listen to it and look up in the air and say, boy, you know, GQ, that record is not really, you know, but, you know, and the craziest part is that 9 times out of 10, nobody's gonna tell you the truth. You know what I mean? They're gonna be like,
Homies right there.
yo, you know, so that record wicked. And guess what? You know, you're just going out there, flap yourself, it's not going to work, you're going to drop off, you know what I mean? And then the dudes now that do have the crazy hits, no team,
Right.
no budget, you know, this day and age of, you have a record, let me just throw it up on YouTube, you know, forget my little 90 views, stop that.
How much of a disillusion is it, this whole social media thing? Because I think when I talk to people right now, I've heard people who are that are supposed to be managing artists, right? I mean, I don't know how much experience they have managing artists, but they are in fact the artist manager, and they represent themselves as such. And I've heard people say, we don't need this no more. We don't need. I've heard people say they don't need radio, and I think that that's the worst way to look at something, is that you don't need radio.
Radio isn't as strong as it used to be. When I started on Y100, my listenership on a Friday night was 250,000 people, and now it's lucky for like 50,000.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I mean, don't get me wrong. Is it way more than, you know,
The average.
You know, exactly. You know, so I'm not mad at it, and it's still a platform. So
Right.
now the problem is you just have so much more you need to cover. So like I notice now, like this new generation coming in, like somebody came to me the other day and was like, oh, yo, TikTok, you know, and they're like, you know, how, you know, somebody's 13-year-old nephew, you know, that's all he has. Like they don't even mess with Facebook anymore and blah, blah, blah. But guess what now? You know, your auntie mess with Facebook, your cousin mess with Facebook, you know, IG is still a thing. And
Right.
there might now be a new generation taking on new social media, and there's old social media that people are already using. You
Right.
gotta cover everything.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? Just like radio. So yeah, is it as heavy as it was before? No.
Right.
You know what I mean? But is it a format that can get to millions of people?
Yep.
Sure. iHeart covers 9 out of every 10 people in America have listened to an iHeart station at some point during the week.
Right. So the radio is still necessary.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is when people talk about radio not being necessary, right? Because they're talking about internet and whatever, not realizing that the brick and mortar institution of radio may shrink. I don't think it's going away. It's going to
Yeah.
shrink.
Yeah.
Too much money was spent in those towers for them to just delete them.
Yeah.
But not only that, what you're considering internet radio is the same radio station and just a play through the
Yeah.
internet area also.
But I'm gonna tell you right now, G. Cole. If you see, unfortunately, I'm the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to like an institution like iHeart. You know what I mean? Because I mean they have tens of thousands of employees, you know, hundreds of DJs in each market, blah blah blah. But the day programming changes for radio, where we're not playing 18 hits in a row, the radio programming never evolved. It's still an old school way, commercial radio.
Right.
Commercial radio programming never evolved. When you hear a mix show like me on a Friday or Saturday night, or a Waggy T, or a Bobby Condas and Jabba in New York or whatever, and we get away and we play a little thing and, you know, go off track a little bit, you know, our PDs might look at us and be like, yo, take it easy with that or whatever.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we're just one show. The programming straight through the day, you're listening to 18 songs over and over again. the problem is now in this day and age, the young people, they want to hear that new Triple X. They want to hear that 2 Chainz that dropped yesterday.
Right.
You know what I mean? That the brand new Cardi B.
Right.
So, you know, once radio gets if radio gets a little bit more competitive, it will make a comeback.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if it doesn't, you know, like you said, it's gonna die down. It might not, you know, totally disappear, but it's definitely gonna die down more.
All right. I am a firm believer that evolution is key.
Yeah.
And we're getting in depth in terms of the whole concept, again, the word programming too.
Yeah.
Which, again, it goes back to that whole marketing scheme, and it goes back to your budget, because you have to get the thing played over and over and over. Yeah. Get it programmed. I remember there's certain records right now I can tell you I never like.
Yeah, but now you like it.
But now I have no choice.
Yeah.
It was programmed. Yeah. Sean Paul We Be Burn is the first one I can tell you about. I remember just never felt that record. Yeah. And I remember the day I caught myself singing the song.
Big up Delano for producing it.
Trust me. Programming. Yeah. Radio in Jamaica, radio in the US, night and day.
Yeah.
Right?
It is. You got more freedom down there.
Right.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is, again, too, it's because it's not as competitive in Jamaica as it is up here. The problem with up here is, you know, you have so much option.
Right.
You know, so that's why, you know, unfortunately, from back in the day, the programming standpoint of it was a proven thing. You know what I mean? So, you know, the people that are monitoring, they're like, okay, you know what? If there's a 2 records in a row that they don't know, they're gonna tune out. But that's not the same thing in Jamaica, because Jamaica is super trendy.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's all about the new things. So all of a sudden you hear a new cartel, you're like, yo, and you're gonna
you're dialed in.
Yo, exactly. And then when they wheel it 5 times, you listen every time because you want to hear it straight from beginning to end.
Right. So format's very, very...
Oh, yeah, definitely. But you see, the thing too, you know, when it comes to like reggae, you know, reggae and soca are markets that as the new thing comes out, you want to hear it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you know, popular music in America, you know, has to be promoted to you.
Again, back to the business.
Yeah.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, hey, listen, nobody got harassed GQ and see me in the street right about now.
Come beat me up.
Come beat the man. He's just telling it like it is.
Yeah.
The formula. It's a formula for everything.
Yeah.
When we talk about mainstream commercial radio, it's populated a lot with pop, country, hip hop, R&B, stuff like that, right? And then of course we have
Latin
music, which is right now
reggaeton,
keeping it real live.
The game, yeah.
Dope. Afrobeat is doing that thing right about now.
Afrobeat too.
Reggae and dancehall music. I had this conversation with somebody before saying that reggae and dancehall music, where the foundation of that is love and peace and unity and the struggle. You know? So I don't even know if it'll ever be competitive in the market space like the others that were built somewhat on frivolry. You know what I mean? On the party and the vibe and whatever. But when it comes to breaking records, do you think that the formula is any different for any genre? In that verse of reggae?
Yeah, every genre has a different a different formula. As a matter of fact, right now, why you see Latin so prominent is because their culture supports so much that, like, when a Don Omar or Daddy Yankee or a Maluma or whoever drops a new record, they eat it up. They're like, oh man, it's like a you know, Beenie Man and Bounty back in the day, or like a Cartel,
right?
Or whoever now, you know what I mean? It's like that's what it's like, you know. So because they have that, you know, so heavy in their culture right now, you know, and mainstream radio has accepted them right now. They're the new thing in mainstream radio. You know, they're on all sides. They're getting eat up. Like, I'll tip my hat. Yeah, tip my hat to them, man.
Can't beat that, and that feeds right back into what I always say. Pretty much is whenever we talk about music, our business in general, there are certain rules that we try not to violate. That the customer is always right. I don't subscribe to that. Never. And then you also have the whole concept of just not coming at the fan base. But I think our fan base sucks. You know what I'm saying? In terms of critical, very critical, but just they don't support as they say they support.
Yeah.
You know, you have an opinion, but you don't have the song in your phone. You ask me about the song that you heard from somebody else's thing, but it's not like you buying the music. So no matter how well I do it, you still not gonna download the music. Yeah. You know, but it's a challenge for us to go at the fans though. Yeah. That's what you're saying pretty much in terms of the cultures is half the issue is the fan base.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Our fan base just
Yeah,
they don't consume
but
music.
you know what? Honestly, though, so the Latin fan base is kind of the same way. You know, they're not buying. They're about the hype. So meaning they'll go to the stage show and you know they'll post it on their Instagram and blah blah blah. You know, die for a picture with Bad Bunny.
Right.
But they're not buying either. We're just not.
So where's
enough.
all the streams that Latin market's getting coming from and
Oh no,
downloads?
no. Yeah, no. Well, they're streaming it. They're probably just not downloading it. Anytime you see any buying going on, it's Jenny from Boca. You know what I mean? Or I'm just keeping it real. You know what I mean?
Or Becky from Apopka.
Yeah, exactly. That's who's buying. You know what I mean? But you know, trust me. You know.
So that's who I need to target.
Yeah, man. You know, lied in not Miami, not buying it.
I love it. Ladies, I know you got stuff to do. It's almost that time, ladies and gentlemen. So if I was to do the seminar right now, and GQ was on the panel, and the dancehall and the reggae artist said, what are we doing wrong?
Yeah.
What are we telling them?
They need to focus more on the business of music. Don't you know, the thing is, everybody's an artist right now and they're putting together records and they're like, okay, boom, I have this record. This is the next biggest thing. But they're not thinking about what it entails to make that record the next biggest thing. So take your time, pull up a little bit of bread, whether it's taking on a publicist, you know, a social media expert, somebody, a record promoter to work your record to radio, billboard, whatever else. You know what I mean?
Right.
They put together a formula.
Right.
You know what I mean? Don't just drop it. Then all of a sudden it get couple view on YouTube. You know, 5 people download it. You know, including your auntie and your cousin.
Right.
And then you're mad and you say, yo, oh, nobody now support you.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the thing is, then you look at a man like Mr. Vegas who pay for him own music video, have 3 record promoter,
Right.
you know, go in. And this is not no label thing. These dudes are hustling themselves.
Right.
You know what I mean? Putting in that work themselves.
It's amazing you mentioned Mr. Vegas. You know, Vegas has a strong social media presence, whether they like it or not. And maybe for some reasons you don't want to deal with.
Yeah.
But it's one of the hardest working persons I've seen.
Yeah, man. Him work hard, man.
And is a brother who believe in the formula, the real formula, which is I create a good record. Because Vegas creates a plethora and spit out a record that deal like Prince.
Yeah.
But I have not heard a hit is like, sorry, it's relative. We can determine what a hit is after the success, but I've never heard a bad, and that's me now.
Yeah.
Never heard a bad Mr. Vegas song. You know?
Yeah, but you know what it is? It's because his ethic is so good, and because he's putting out so much music, you kind of get seasoned after a while. You know what I mean? It's like if you were to sit down and all you do is just listen to reggae music. Well, that's what you do. But you know now you kind of know if it's not bad, at least what's not going to be accepted. You know what I mean? Your judgment is a little bit more fine tuned because you're constantly in it. You know, and he lives it.
Right.
You know.
So you might have created it and just didn't put it out.
Yeah, you have to live it. The music business is a everyday business. You know, the thing is, doctors and lawyers don't practice medicine and law on the weekend. You know what I mean? Like, you know, people always look at me. Yeah. No, but you know, it's funny that you know, back in the day, people were like, "Yo, how you everywhere? How you a DJ at Space and festivals and Ray?" And I'm like, "Yo, I wake up on Monday morning." And I live DJing. You know what I mean? 8 o'clock in the morning is either on phone, promoters, you know, sorting out my crates, you know, in iTunes now.
Right.
Course,
my virtual crate.
My virtual crate. But, you know, it's like, you know, I'm constantly focusing on music. You know what I mean? And, you know, when you live something, you know, it happens. You know, it might not happen tomorrow, but it's going to happen.
Right.
You know?
I like that. It's building the brand.
Definitely.
And stamping your presence all over. Because again, you know, and we living in the real world sometimes don't have the luxury of being able to live it 24/7. But as long as we know what the formula is and how it can be done and how it can be done, because not succeeding is not the worst thing that can happen. You know?
Yeah.
Is not succeeding and then mad at yourself because you didn't succeed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But you know, it's hard because the thing is, nowadays, to break is harder, but the judgment is less. Let me tell you something. Back in the day, because I started in dancehall and reggae, when I started playing hip hop and I started touring with Akon back in the day, there were markets and nightclubs that wouldn't book me. And they're like, that's that reggae guy. And it was so hard to come out of that typecast.
Right, right.
And then when there were, not to throw anybody under the bus, but Ricky Williams and the football players and stuff, when they used to book me when I was doing hip hop.
Right.
And when I got on Y100, they stopped booking me. And they're like, we didn't even know if you played hip hop anymore.
Oh,
they're
wow.
Like, because, you know, now
doing pop.
Exactly. You know, you playing Justin Timberlake and, you know, Britney Spears and crap.
Right.
Back then it was 2009.
Right.
You know, so it's like, you know, you realize that, you know, coming up, everything was so segregated. It was so hard, you know, and they were like looking at you, you know, very niche. But the thing is now you have, you know, I was at this festival in Europe and DJ Chucky was on. He's there playing, you know, some heart-wrenching house. And all of a sudden you just hear in front of 30,000 people, you're, oh, Lamborghini Mercy, and the place busts.
Wow.
And, you know, I'm like, wow, like this, you never see that, but Waka Flocka on Ultra. You know what I mean? It's like
True.
The genres have meshed.
Right,
You know
right,
what I mean?
right.
I'm putting together a stage show right now with reggae artists on it that are going to come out on my electro stage show and perform reggae records on my electro set.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because,
Wow.
you know, that's what it is now. You know, it's this hybrid now.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So because of that, you know, anything can really work. You know what I mean? But you now have to, you know, put in the work for it to happen.
You know, you mentioned the hybrid too. You always have the purists in anywhere you go, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And the purists are always complaining about the hybrid and the evolution and all them things.
Yeah.
Do you feel like they talk about trap dance hall? I don't know what the hell that is. I've heard about it, but I can't identify it.
Stop it.
So-
Yeah, old
What do
man.
what do you feel about trap dance hall? Do you think it's something that's here to stay, or you think it's just a phase?
It's a phase.
Yeah?
Yeah, because trap is a phase. You know what I mean? But just like anything else, you have to remember, you know, I hate to say it, but like just like disco was a phase, hip hop, you have like the 90s hip hop, that was a phase.
Right.
You know what I mean? Then you had this pop stuff, you had that puffy era hip hop.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like everything's a phase.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you're gonna, just like right now, what's coming into that the mainstream phase right now is like Afrobeat. Afrobeat's gonna come and wreck this market, you know? Like you're gonna see Afrobeat all over the place. Davido and these dudes are just opening the door right now.
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean? And then they're gonna be big like the Bad Bunnies and Daddy Yankees and stuff and whatever, and get the run that Elephant Man and Sean Paul and them man to get that run, you know, at that time.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying that it will disappear.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because every so often you're gonna hear a song come back and you're gonna be like, oh man, you know,
Yeah.
Bruno Mars do a record, you know, that's reminiscent of Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
you know
true,
what I mean?
true.
You're always gonna have these things. You know, music is music. You know, I'm never gonna, you know, hate on any one thing. You know what I mean? But there's always going to be a time when there's going to be a thing that's big. You know what I mean? And right now, when you listen to dancehall right now, with these youths in Mobe and stuff,
Right.
you know,
Six them and them.
yeah, six
Yeah.
exactly. You know, it's like they're doing this hip hop hybrid right now,
Right.
and you know that's what works for them. You know,
I got you. You mentioned also what you went through with like the football players and stuff like that. Once you went to Y100, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, okay, for lack of a better, he went pop. I don't know if he plays hip hop anymore.
Right.
Do you find that because you're immersed in the hip hop, the rock, all these different things, then the Jamaican culture feels like you are not connected to them, or do they still have GQ as one of them guys who?
so I'm gonna keep it real with you.
Yeah.
So they booked. I was the headliner for like ATI and all that wonderful Ray. A couple years back, and I didn't shell it. And you know what? It was the first time I went back to Jamaica and played, and didn't shell it. And you know what happened, G? It burned my soul. Mataran jumped up and said, "Yo, I'm a big Fred JQ," and as him opening mouth. I was like, yo, the man don't even play a record. I'm gonna look up and I say, you know what happened? My time here is not now.
Right.
And I kind of dress back. But funny, like me and Walshfire went to Trinidad year before last and did Soca Monarch, 28,000 people, shell it. You know, and I'll do things sometimes here and there. You know, Jamie Young, Absolute, me and him do a little thing here and there or whatever. And, you know, I'll do stuff, but I'm very wary of what I do now because I know my lane. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm not going to go now run down every dancehall thing.
Right.
And then there's certain dances that will book me. And, you know, it's a special thing. You know what I mean? So that, you know, people, you know, will come up and it's almost like a family reunion when I'm playing.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow,
you know,
yeah,
versus, you know, me trying to now, you know, run down to Moby and, you know,
Right.
you know, Pier 1, you know, and nah, it's just, you know, I'm not, you know.
I got you. And I guess knowing, like you say, your lane helps you to preserve your brand because you
100%.
Running at every lane and
100%. And then when I do those shows, it's a big thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They miss you.
Yeah.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, it is GQ. And trust me, I'm telling you, gems,
Right.
jewels. Make sure you're paying attention, all right? What we got going on here? Rastadam, respect. Content is very important. Yup. Gregory Shaw, bless up. Keva gets everybody over there. Big up Common Kings, everybody out there doing what they do. One more big joint for you, all right? One chance.
Benz for the man foot a roll up like one pants foot, yeah. We only need a first shot or one hook and no effort, man. Put some style, man, that's a damn crook, yeah. Me I tell you through the door, we need one foot, one chance and one look, one opportunity for rise past some scrutiny. One pants and one shot.
It's Octane and Ginger. One chance from the Love and Life album.
One night or one day, jam must shine a one light and the one thing go away. You know, say a one thing we out for another beer.
Big up my East London massive at the den right now. London, UK. Big up.
Only need one chance. Me only need one. Given that opportunity, as me have ambition. Whoa, me only need one chance, brother. Me only need one. Given that opportunity, me I go make some hit songs. Whoa. Change it. Man want to left ya, man want leave out them a stress ya. Man life be better, me no want to use beretta 26 letter in the alphabet, but I am me choose. It's spell money, so me no use another letter.
Yeah, man, again, big up the massive and correct on Switzerland. Also, Denmark is locked in. I appreciate y'all so very much. Wow, go on, Anya. Thank you. Straight up, when it comes to breaking records right now, right?
Yeah.
The internet, all kind of crazy stuff are about, like, talk about it. Does a DJ, because back in the day, DJs used to credit themselves as breaking artists and have the capability of breaking artists.
Yeah.
Is it the same right now where a DJ can say, you know something? I like that song, yeah? I'm going to break this joint.
No.
No?
You see, the thing is, when it's rough. It's kind of, because you see, now it's a collective thing. You need DJs to break a record. You know, it's a collective force. I feel that if everybody, you know, meshed together and pushed something, yes, it would break. But back in the day, when Funkmaster Flex was dropping bombs on records, he could single-handedly break a record.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I've watched him tell Atlantic Records no to a record, and they literally stopped funding on a record.
Wow.
That's how crazy it was then.
Right.
You know what I mean? But now, you know, times have changed. You know, now all of a sudden, you know, like I said, you know, maybe when I started radio, I could have probably went hard on something and broke something.
Right.
But now, you know, I could play my heart out with a record, and you know, it just is not the same.
So you need a cohesion. You need a bunch of DJs
Have to. No, yeah. So that's why I said, you know, you have to work. That's why, you know, there's certain people like Chaos from Grind Mode, the dude who did I'm So High. You know, these guys went to strip clubs across South Florida and just worked because, you know, obviously a strip club DJ is going to be able to play a record easier than a radio DJ.
No program director.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, you have to just find what you can do to work your project.
Right.
You know what I mean? No matter where it is, what the niche is, you know what I mean? And just keep going from there.
Right.
You know, you don't have to have no crazy, you know, I'm not saying, pull a second mortgage on your house and, push a record.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because, you know, music can be unforgiving sometimes.
So much so.
Yeah, but you know, but the thing is, you want to put together a solid plan and not go into it blind-eyed.
I love that. And again, I ask those questions because there's so many musicians up and coming and existing that watch the program, and everybody's asking the question, how do we get it out there?
Yeah.
Because I've seen people with the budget still not know what to do with the budget.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And again, it's identifying your project. I've seen that too, literally, where the artists that used to go to the strip club.
Yeah.
They used to meet up with a stripper outside and say, yo, I'll give you a certain amount of money to dance to your set.
Right, to this,
And
right.
religiously every night she comes out to this song.
Right.
And if the core market that they're trying to get to
Yeah.
is the strip
Is
club
that-
market, they
yeah.
might hear that every night.
But the joke about it is, if they did that with every strip club in South Florida, which, you know, it, like I said, regular job, wake up 8 o'clock in the morning and hustle, you know what I mean? You'll be surprised that there are people that break records like that.
Yeah.
Bizzle, the I'm a Stripper record, you know, Chaos from Grind Mode, I'm So High. These guys, that's what those guys did, man.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Lex Promotions, who pushes Ross's stuff. That man would living in the strip club pushing Rick Ross records in the club. You know what I mean? And
The grind has got to be done.
it has to be there. It's a full-time job.
Don't feel say your record is just that good.
No.
And I love it. I love it. I love it. Now we always talk about evolution again. You know, music is the forefront of what we do, but there's always places to go. Talk to me about GQ's Craft House.
So it's my bar venture. So I opened a craft beer bar here in Lauderhill, Florida. And, you know, we specialize in craft beer. We have like about 60 different types. And it's like a hookah lounge. And tonight is my homeboy, Mecca Don, if you're, you know, he's a South Florida staple. Yeah, it's his birthday tonight. So, you know, we're going to do it up good, you know.
Cool now, man. Cool now, man. Cool now, man. It's in Lauderhill. Make sure you come out and have a good time with GQ. I've been down there. I'm telling you, dope spot, nice little vibe. Come out, bring a date if you want to. Take your woman, somebody else woman. Just come have a good vibe, you know what I mean? But it's comfortable, and I never really ventured into craft beer until coming to sit down with you.
I got something for you tonight.
Listen, come on out, come hang out with me. When I leave the studio here, I'm gonna go hang out down there. All right, we're gonna have a good time. Come out and come enjoy some craft beer with me. But
Yeah, man.
I love what's going on. I dig it. It's different because whenever we think about ventures, you know, if you have to tell me, say, well, all right, DJ GQ is gonna go become an entrepreneur, is gonna start a venture, I would not have ever assumed it would have been.
You know,
beer.
honestly, I was actually going to do GQ's Rum Runners, and I was going to do a rum bar. But it was with investors and all sorts of something. And I was like, you know what happened? I don't even want to go through this right now, you know. So I went to a smaller venue, decided to do the craft beer thing because I got into craft beers at the time. And, you know, I just did it myself, you know.
I love it. I love it. Well, keep doing what you're doing, brother. And on behalf of my people watching and myself and the people listening all across the globe, I want to thank you so much for stopping through and
God
not
bless
just hanging
you.
out with us, but dropping knowledge because a lot of people learning today.
Yo, anytime, my brother.
Appreciate you.
My name is G. Cole, and this is Homegrown.